Welcome back to ALT. This is ALT channel. In today's lesson we will start our first drawing using Autocad. To start the drawing you can click Start Drawing or you can use a template. For this lesson I want to use a template to ensure that the what we call the characteristics and the properties that I have, everything set up to match your software. So it will be same for all. So if you want a metric unit, you can go for this one. Here you can see that it's no template. Or you can use other thing like Civil 3D, but this is another software. It's AutoCAD, but it has more features related to Civil. So I would go for AutoCAD ISO.dwt. You can notice that if you save any file like these files, you will notice that the format is DWG. This is the normal format for any file, but this is for a template. You can see that DWT is for a template. So let's click here. Now you will see the same view. If you see the same view, that means you are right. Everything is okay. Now before we start drawing, we should check two things. First, we should check that we are in drafting and annotation workspace and not on 3D. Because if you are on 3D basics, for example, let's click here. You will notice that every what we call panels here change. I mean you will have here create commands in home. You will not have for example the other commands. You will see different icons related to 3D modeling. However, here we want only drafting and annotation for this lesson. Second thing to set is unit. So let's click unit here. Okay, units. Here in units you can change between the type of the length, if you want it as a decimal or engineering unit or scientific. This depends on your purpose. For example, if you are using this software for an engineering purpose, you will prefer this one. If you are using for a scientific purpose, if you have a very tiny thing in microns or something, you would go for scientific. So it depends. In this lesson I will use decimal, and I will use only one number after the comma or after the dot. Okay, and then similarly for angle, it depends on your application. If you want radian, minute, second, degree, for example, like that, degree, second, something like this. Okay. Here I will go for this decimal degree. I would leave it like that, only 1 unit. And here you can set your scale. For example, if you want a millimeter or centimeter or whatever, you can use also unitless, but I will leave it as it is, millimeters. Okay, and here you can change between units, either international or Americans. For this I will discuss later if we have if we deal with the different drawings. We will discuss units in more details, but here it's good to know at first that you should set this thing up before start drawing. Okay. Now, as stated previously in previous lesson, we have here some icons. Each icon will show you what exactly this command will do. For example, here you will see line, that will draw a line, polyline, circle, arc. This will create ellipse. This will create rectangle. This will have hatch, move. It like gives you what this command does. And if you hover over this particular what you call command, you will see like a pop-up window that says what is it and how to use and this thing. If you need more help, like I said, you can go in the previous lessons, you can go for F1 and you will know more about lines and those things. Okay, now let's sort. Now let us see first command here, line. To access that, you can click on line, and here you will see in the command window it says line, specify first point. So it means you should select your first point. For example, I will select this point and I will click left on the mouse, and then I will select the second point wherever I want, for example here. So you can see that this line is created and it sticks to the first point you select, and it goes wherever you move your mouse. For example, I want this point, so I will click here, then a line is created. You can notice that after creating a line, you will not exit this command, as it says again, line, specify next point. So you will specify next point, next point, next point. But if you want to cancel, you can go for click right, cancel, or you can click like this, for example, and then click escape or enter simply, and you will leave this thing. In order to get this command fastly, you will use something called alias or shortcuts in the keyboards. So you click L, and you will see a line here, line. You click in mouse, or you click simply enter, and you are in line command right now. So you can create your lines. Okay. So it's like that. Now let me discuss something. You probably, if you click this one, if you see this one clicked, you probably will see something like that. Okay, which is like when you move your mouse, you will see a dotted line, green line, which indicate a specific angles. In this case, for example, this is 0 and this is 45. This is the angles, like I mean 90 degree. So this is used to help you while you are drawing, to know exactly if you are commonly use these angles, so you can easily use this command. Okay, let's take rid of this. Just click again. Okay, I don't want that for this time. Okay, now again let's click line and space or enter. Then I use the pen. Like I said in the previous lesson, you can use the wheel mouse, click the wheel mouse and drag wherever you want to use this command. Okay, or you can click simply P and space. Okay, now this is line. Till now I have created a line without any what we call dimension or any dimension. I mean, this line, if you create like this, it doesn't mean anything. As AutoCAD is used to specify dimensions and to have a details. So after having all of this, I can select, just like I said in the previous lesson. If you select like this using the blue window, you select like that. If you use this, you will select even if if you are like not cover all the points. So if you select like this or like this, it doesn't matter. But if you select like this, for example, it matters because let me click escape. Because if you select something, by the way, if you select something and you want to cancel whatever you select and select again, you can click escape. Okay, like this. Okay, now I select like this, and if you select like that, it will be different, just like I discussed in the previous lesson. Now let me delete this or erase them. Just select all of them and click erase. Okay, or you can simply click like that, exit, then click delete, and it will use the command which is erase. Okay, now let me discuss one thing, which is the coordinate system. As you can see here, for example, here it shows you the coordinates at which you place your cursor. For example, I place my cursor here. Oh, sorry, let me place it near the 0. So you will notice that the more closer I get to the 0, the more closer the coordinate comes 0. So you will have x, y, and z, like this, x, y, and z. If you cannot see this one, you can go for this customization and then goes for coordinate. Where is that? Coordinate. Where is it? Oh yes, coordinates. If you click like this, you cannot see now. If you click coordinates, you can observe now. So you can notice that number here, 500, whatever. Wherever I move the cursor, the number will change. And you can notice that this thing is not changing. I mean the last number, which is Z, because I am now in the plan XY. So you will not see any change in this unless you have a 3D object or a 3D line or whatever. Okay. Now let's discuss something very important, which is the coordinate system that is used in Autocad. In Autocad, we have three main coordinate systems. The first one is called, let me click L, then space. The first one is called absolute coordinate, coordinate, which means it will consider this point, which is the center of the axis, as a 0 point. And whatever point here you will see, for example, 600, 200. For example, I will click here, I will specify the first point as 0 and 0. Now, this is my first point. To specify the first point, let's click L again, click 0, and then to change, click comma. You can change, or you can use okay, you can use comma and then 0 again. Okay, first, now we specify the first point as 0 and 0. Then I want to select another point. I can of course select another point using the mouse, but I want to use the keyboard now to show you the difference between the coordinate systems. Now first, absolute coordinates. Absolute coordinates means, let me make this on, which is polar tracking. Okay, for example, I want this line to be let's say 7 like this. Okay, no problem, whatever the length you want. I will click like this. Okay, now now we can notice that I create a line which is approximately 70 millimeters, but it's not exactly, and it's hard to maintain that. For example, I want 70 like this. It will be very difficult to use mouse to get these details. So again, 0 and 0, click like this. Okay, to use the absolute coordinate, we'll consider this point as 0 and 0, and wherever you move you can use this thing to guide you. For example, this point, what is this point? 100 and 100 and whatever. Let me use, for example, this for example, I want to create a line here from 0 0 to 120 0 0. Okay, so I will use hash like this, shift and 3. Okay, then click 120, then go comma, and then specify the second point 0. Okay, then click enter. Now you can see that this line is 120 exactly, from point 0 to point 120 0 0. Okay, like this. Now if I start from here and I click, for example, 120 and 0 using the hashtag again, shift 3, then I say 120, then 0, it will not do anything because I am in the same point, which is 120 0. So this means that this point will not change if I change wherever you click. For example, I will click here and I want from this point to this point. So I have this specified point, the first point, whatever, but I want it to link to this point. I can simply click like that and then click left in the mouse and it's okay. But I want to use the absolute coordinate to show you what I mean. I will use hash, then 120, then comma, then 0. Okay. So you notice that this point, wherever you are, it is 120 0 0. I mean 120 x, 0 y, and z also 0. So wherever you are. Now let's go for the second type, which is relative coordinate system. Relative coordinate systems means if I start at this point, for example, this point will be my 0 0. So if I click here, shift 2, which is at, and click 120, then comma, then 0, and click enter, it will create a line. Unlike the what we call absolute coordinate system, because absolute coordinate system considers this point to be 120 0 0. However, this point will be 240 0 0. So if I want to create line, you can notice that this point is 0 0 0. Then you go for 240. To make it simple, let's cancel the 3D things. I mean the Z. I will say only 240 0. Okay. So if you want to draw it using coordinate system, absolute coordinate, you will click from here to here. If I want, let me show you. I will delete this line. If I want to create the same line but using the what we call absolute coordinate, let me use the hash thing here, and I will use 240, then comma 0. It will create the line because I use the absolute coordinate. I hope it's clear. If it is not clear, don't worry, I will do some exercise to show you. Finally, I will show you something called as polar coordinate system. Polar coordinate system is, if you know, for example, let me create some line here, whatever the length, but I want here the angle to be 1 30, okay, and the length to be something. So I will say at, and I will say, for example, 100. Then I will say tab instead of comma to go for the angle. Or you can also if you make a mistake, for example, on the line or on the whatever you have used, you can use tab to change between them. Even if you use the comma, for example, I use 100, then I use comma, then I want to go back, I can click also tab. If you want to go for angle, you can change by click shift, and then you can see the icon which is greater than and smaller than. You will click smaller than, sorry, first 100, then smaller than. You notice this icon here, I mean directly right to the icon of the I mean directly to the left of the angle, for example 126, directly to the left you can see that icon. So click shift and click that icon on the keyboard and you will change to the angle. Here I want the angle to be 130, so I will click enter and it creates a line start from here at 130. Here, before I want to continue in the polar coordinate system, I want to discuss one thing that is very important. No issue, let me show you here, for example, let me create this thing. So at this point, let me click from here, for example, let me change the line, the color of this line. Okay, so here the angle is 0. If you go up, that means you will start from here 0 and then you start wherever you want. If you go down, you will notice that the angle will be changed. For example, if I want 300, it will be here. But if I go up, 300 will be down. If I go down, 300 will be up. For example, let me go up and click, for example, 600 length and then 330 as the angle. Okay, so you'll notice that this is from here I mean from here to here is 330, but if I click similarly but down and I click 600 down 330, it will go up. So this is as simple as it is. If you go up, the circle will start like this. If you go down, the circle will start from this. From 0 will start from here. If you go like this, then you will go here up to 360. If you go up, then it's the same. I hope it's clear. Okay. Now before continue, I want to save this file and name it, for example, save as, and I will name it as lesson 3 example. No, not example, I have example there. I will say as lesson 3 exercise. Let me call EX. Okay, save. Now let's start our first drawing. First drawing is going to be for a truss. I will use the polar coordinate system. Let's click wherever here, for example, to be the first point. Let me return back the color to be for, okay, like this. Okay. Okay, then I will click, it will be a truss, so I will click 3, then tab 0. Okay, so I can go very close to that. Then I will go for another 3, then tab, or this for angle 0. Then I go like this, and I want the angle to be from here to here. For example, I want to be 60, so I will go like this and click here, and for here it's 3, then here it's 60. Then I can return back easily here. Down, it's similarly, I can click 3, then I go down, not up, because if I go up, it will go up. Let me show you. If I go up and click 3, and then tab 60, it will continue the line because it's on the same angle. But I don't want like that, so I will delete this type. You can go for undo also, UN, undo. Okay, like so, you undo and click down, then click undo. Okay, I click enter, it will remove everything. If you want to undo, for example, let me show you again how to use it in a more. If I want to undo the last line, I can click U before exiting the line and click enter. I click U again, I click enter, then I can come back again to this. If I create many things and I want again to use undo, I can go for here and use undo. And you can also use, of course, Ctrl Z. Okay, where am I? Okay, so no problem. 3, then 0, then 3, then 0. Okay. Okay, like this. Again, let me show you how to use the undo. 3, tab 60. Then if you want to undo these two things, you can go for undo here. You can see this icon. You can click U, then enter. You will return back to this step. But you can also click redo here. And you can also use further steps. For example, if I want to cancel the last line, if I want to cancel the last command or whatever, you can go back up to whatever you want. And you can also go like this. You can erase, of course, those two things. And if you erase them by mistake, you can also use command such as oops, for example. Oops, undo, redo. For example, let me show you. Resu. For example, I write resu or resub something which is wrong. If you click escape, you will cancel everything. But if you again, let me call respo or whatever you click by mistake, you can click backspace to cancel this and retype again, redo, for example. Okay. Undo, for example, you can click U only and you can use it as undo. Let me show you again the ops. If you click ops, okay, this is it. If I see say our click ops, it will regain the last thing you deleted. Even if you change the view, for example, if I change the view, okay, and you do something, for example, let me show you. I draw these lines, then I cancel, then I use another thing, another command, or change the view, or use another command. If you say undo, it will undo the last thing, so it will undo this one. And you don't want to cancel this thing. For example, I don't want to cancel this thing, but I want to regain this drawing, so I will use ops. Let me show you. I will cancel this, click delete. Okay, sorry, let me click undo. Okay, then delete all this, then I will draw something here. Then without deleting this, I can regain that by click ops. Okay, I regain that. So this is what is used for. Let me continue my truss drawing. Can click like this, click like this, then again 3 and tab 60, then click down here, escape, L space, this will complete my truss using coordinate system. Now I don't want to go deep in another command, but I can use dime angular to check the angle here. 260. Because my scale is very down, very small, so you can see that the dimension scale is very high. We will discuss this later. Now it's enough to check the angle. Now let's use the absolute coordinate system to draw one drawing and to use the relative as well. For example, let me select this point, then I will go for, let me see here, then I will go for as it is absolute, I should use hash, then I will use hash, and I will go, for example, before using hash, I will select my first point, so I would create this drawing twice. Once using absolute, it's a truss, but it's of a different shape. Okay, let me use 0 for absolute coordinate system. Let me use this point 0, 0, 0, as it is more simple. Okay, then 0 and then 0. Okay. Okay, then I will specify the dimension. I will click here hash, then 5, 0. Then again I will click hash, then 10, 0. Then to go up, I will click again hash, then 10.5. You can notice that here from here to here it's 5.0. Here it's 10.0. So I want to go up 5, so I will say 10.5. Then to go back, I will say 5.5. You can notice that thing here, which is 550. So you can click, but I will enter it manually. I will say hash 5.5. Then I will go again, hash 0.5. Then I can go hash 0.0 as well. I mean hash 0.0. Okay, then I go again like this. This point is 5.5, so I will go hash 5.5. I think you can understand now. If I want to go for here, for example, let me go get closer. If I want to go here, this point is 5.0, so I will go hash 5.0, and I will say enter. And similarly here, this point is 10.5.0. So you can notice here that I draw all of this thing using hash, using absolute coordinate system. For that, you can notice that if I, for example, delete those things, I can go L and then simply click from here to here to specific, like this, and like this, without a trouble in measurement or anything. But entering it in absolute or coordinate system, or this coordinate system, will be easier sometimes, because if you are dealing with a very complicated drawing, sometimes you can it's hard to use the cursor, so that's why. Now let's draw the same thing here. Now let me show you the dimension first. First, let's set the dime scale. For example, to 0.5 or 0.25. Dime. Okay. From here to here, it's 5. From here to here, it's 5. And similarly, from here to here, everything is 5. Okay. Now let me click, for example, here. I will select the first point, for example, 40 and 0. Here, this is the first point. Now to use the relative, I can click at, then I click here. If I want to use the what we call absolute, I will go for 45. Here 45, as you notice here, check here. I will go for 45, for example, like this, for example. Okay, almost 45. Okay, 4500. I will go for this point and enter it using hash. But here, I will consider this point which I select as a 0. So here, this point will be 0. Will be 50. That's mean 5.x to the right. If I want to go for to the left, I will say minus. But let's first use the normal way. I will use at 5, 0. Then again, I will use at 5, 0. Then if I want to go up, I will use now this point is become my 0. Before it was this one. Here it changed to this one. If I click add, I will not click 5, for example, 5, 5. I will click add. What happened? Okay, add 5, comma 0. No, sorry, add 0, 5. Tab 5. Okay, now to go back. At this point is -5, which means I will go 5 to the left, -5, tab, oh sorry, tab, and then comma, -5, comma, 0. I think you can notice now, and here also at -5, tab, oh sorry, tab, comma, -5, comma 0. Okay, and to go down similarly, at 0, comma, -5. Here, to go from here to here. This point is from here to here, it's 5, 0. If I go up, it is 5, 5. I mean from this point, from the last point which I am in now, right now. So I will click tab, sorry, at 5, comma 5. Then again, I can also use because the dynamic input is on, I can use directly this system, the relative system, which is I will use 5, then comma, sorry, not 5. I will go for 0, then -5. Okay, like this, and here I can just directly use comma, just like I said, 5, comma 5, because the dynamic input is on. If I turn off this thing, let me draw this again. I will say L, then I will say like this. If I click 5, comma 5, sorry, you can notice that here I don't have any numbers. The numbers is in the command window. So I will click 5, 5, and it will draw 5, 5, which is this point, as it's now using the what we call as absolute coordinate system. So let me click Ctrl Z and let me complete this thing. Escape. This will end this tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel to see the future lessons. Thank you very much. I want you to, before ending the lesson, this is the exercise for the next lesson. I will upload this video. Please try to draw this shape, which is a retaining wall. Please try to draw it using both, using either absolute coordinate or a relative coordinate system, or polar coordinate system, or you can use a combination of all those, as in normal drawing. If you can, or you can draw it simply in using what we call the cursor, but it will be difficult. So you can use this thing to help you and guide you. Thank you very much.